So I started this enterprise at the beginning of this year, actually. I've been improvising for 11 years, and I've been teaching improv for 5 years, so up to 4 classes a week, 4 3-hour adult classes a week, and I supplement that with relief teaching in primary schools, and like performing and corporate gigs and going to festivals and doing courses and all of that other stuff. Um, so I was running from the beginning of this year one face-to-face weekly course, and a weekly drop-in club, and both of those were in person, just in Brisbane. And I was going to Nelson in New Zealand to their Fringe Festival to put on a kids show. I was doing setting up an upcoming show with the Brisbane City Council for kids as well. I was going to the US to do an intensive with like one of my heroes, and it was just an amazing opportunity. I was really excited. And I had some corporate training stuff kind of in the works, and some school stuff in the works. And I'd done some school gigs and some corporate gigs before everything popped off. Yeah, so that's what it looked like. So I had to postpone that face-to-face course halfway through, so 4 weeks in, and got in touch with the students, and the majority preferred to wait until we could do it face-to-face again, even if that would be months and months and months. I was very happy and willing to do it on Zoom, but I think it's hard to sell improv on Zoom, as you can probably picture. It's hard to kind of convince people that it's great and it works, and there's even stuff you could do on Zoom that you can't do in real life, or that works way better on Zoom or is more fun on Zoom. So yeah, that's fine. We're going back to do that actually mid-July, pending, second wave and all that. So that's still going, which is good. I moved my drop-in club online immediately, as a sort of experiment to see what would happen. Luckily, I had used Zoom before because I'm a member of the International Theatre Sports Institute, which is a global organization that licenses theatre sports. And we'd done meetings on Zoom and I'd never heard of it. And so I'd done one meeting on Zoom. I was like, this is cool, and it works, and it's better than Skype, and it's better for a big group of people.
Yeah. And for the punters, it's free if you're not the one hosting the meeting. And so you don't have that cost barrier to enter.
Yeah, it's great. And even if you're hosting, you can get 45 minutes before it kicks you off. So I pretty soon signed up for that. Also, it's really quite intuitive to use. So I've taken very technologically non-fluent people through how to improvise on Zoom in about 10 minutes. And these are people that have difficulty opening a YouTube video, that kind of thing. Like there's pictures of the microphone and pictures of the video, and it's less intimidating than you think.
And so what have you been doing? You mentioned the first thing that happened was the drop-in session moved online. What have you been doing online?
So the drop-in club has happened online. Which has been great because it's meant that I've got kind of a pressure-free environment to test some stuff. And because they're a group of improvisers that know me and have learned from me before, and they're kind of beyond beginner level. Everyone beyond beginner level can do that. So that increased my confidence that I could run quality stuff online. So I've done 4 free try improv classes so far. And as soon as I listed it, I thought anyone can do these. So I promoted them in the regional theatre communities, and the response has been so great. Oh yeah, I'll promote this, sounds great, because we're not doing anything. We're doing script readings on Zoom, but that's about it, and we're not playing. So this is something we can do, which is exciting. And I did one for teens as well. So I got a bit of feedback that the teens were really bored, and like older kids were missing their friends and missing socializing, missing meeting new people. So I've ran one for teens as well. And I've done a beginner's course, which they're doing their showcase, like their culminating performance on Tuesday, actually, online on Zoom. And then my drop-in club has continued. The great thing for me as a improvising artist is that all this stuff all over the world has opened up. So I've been able to do courses with people that I've been wanting to do a course with for ages, but we haven't been in the same city, or they didn't come to this festival even though they came last year. So I did a mask class on Zoom using like household items where we like taped our faces up and put on silly hats and like put oranges in our teeth to make us look weird and different. And that worked amazing online. It almost works better online because you can constantly see this weird transformed version of you. Because the type of improvised mask work requires a lot of mirrors, like looking at yourself in a mirror. But having Zoom was like, I am this person reflected back to me in real time. So that was really cool. I did like a Russian improv group put on a course with a French guy, which suited my time zone. So I did that. It was about improvising Miyazaki, so Japanese folk. So like this cross-cultural stuff has been
Wow.
crazy good. And I've got to play in 2 online shows, hosted in Texas, watched by people all over, and just improvise with people. It felt like being at an improv festival, but I'm sitting here in my track pants, and performing in a show.
What's
I
not
never
to
thought.
love?
Yeah, exactly. It's so good. And
And
also, the thing online is, I've got hats and scarves right here, so I can turn my camera off and appear as a French guy.
fantastic. And you said you've had some great successes. And so some things actually are working better online than they do in person. What's really been working?
So there's a bit of an initial strangeness. So for people used to improvising offline, when you get on Zoom, there's a lot of self-consciousness, particularly if you have your self view on, so if you can see yourself. And that's really something we're trying to get rid of in improv. And that's probably the first thing I do with beginners is get rid of your kind of watcher, the thing that's watching you. And if you literally have a person watching you that's you and you know what you look like all the time, that's difficult. So there's a quick fix, which is to turn off self-view so you can't see yourself. But I've encountered slight resistance to that among some people because they love seeing themselves. And there's no guarantee that they've turned it off. So, and you can kind of tell if they haven't because they look at themselves like that, and it kind of stops your connection to somebody else. But the fact that, so honestly, the pandemic and everything has made it necessary to improvise online, and people have been really wanting connection, to look at somebody else's face, and also lightness and silliness. So if you can give them all of those things, then they will come back. And if you can get past the initial strangeness, it's so rewarding to be bouncing ideas off somebody else, to be bonding with them because you're both being ridiculously silly, particularly in such a difficult worldwide environment when everyone's like stuck in their homes, although it's easing now. You can give people something that they're really missing. Also, the creativity aspect. People have been doing online art classes and stuff, but it's not the same as learning it with somebody else. Because a lot of the reason why you go to a pottery class or you go to a dance class is to just hang out with other people and do the thing together. So it provides that.
Fantastic. And I know I'm no kind of improv expert, but I run a sporadic local group just because there are no other opportunities. It's me or nobody. And what I know for instance, with warm-ups, we do a lot of things that go around in a circle or down in a line. How are you making improv work without that sort of spatial relationship to each other?
That's an interesting one. So that's probably the hardest thing. So if you need to do a circle game, like a lot of games you can kind of adapt to be passing games, and you use names instead of eye contact. And that's kind of nice because that builds the connection, hearing your name and then seeing the thing and then saying somebody else's name kind of makes you feel like you're in the same space. So if it needs to be in a circle, we just number ourselves. So you just rename yourself with a number. And that works fine. There's a little bit of the intellectual, what number am I, rather than the whole body kind of feedback that you receive. Like, oh, everyone's looking at me. that feedback. So I've kind of minimized those circle games and moved it more to passing games or even copying games. That's a tough part, and that's probably the biggest adaptation is those warm-ups. In terms of the spatial relationship, you can kind of do a lot on camera that you can't do in real life. So I'll give you some examples. You can pop up into somebody's scene like that. You can go off stage really easily and still see everyone's face, which you can't often in real life. You can like be like looking over a windowsill and it's quite effective. All those sorts of spatial things. But like a lot of it does require quite a bit of pretending, like I'm eating dinner opposite you, or I'm looking at you across a table. But that's been fun to play with, to see what stuff looks like. I know the group in Texas has been able to do, the classic arms through exercise where somebody goes behind me and does the arms. It works because they stream it on Twitch, because the videos are in a different kind of order for everybody if you're on Zoom. But if you get a set order, you can have some people being the arms. So right now it looks like I'm your arms. I don't know if you're on top on your screen. Yeah. So I can, and then if you, yeah, exactly. You meddling kid. Yeah. So that kind of stuff adds a whole different dimension, which feels a bit more cinematic and a bit more filmic, which is cool.
And interesting, the stuff you mentioned about like peeping over the windowsill. You can still play with space, but you can do it in just a whole different sort of arena opens up.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not the same. It is quite different. And I think they're just two different things. I think improvising on Zoom has quite, like they do overlap, but I think that there's this whole area you can do in person and this whole area you can do online that doesn't overlap for both.
And where to from here for you? When things go back to something approaching normal, do you think you'll continue with the online stuff you've been doing, or are you itching to get back to more in-person stuff?
I know a lot of people are itching to get back to in-person stuff. I love doing the online stuff because there's no commute. And I can wear my track pants, obviously. And also, if I forget to eat dinner, I can call a 5-minute break, eat my dinner, and then nobody knows. But also, because I've got participants now all over Queensland and Darwin and Hobart as well, and the feedback I've gotten is please keep doing this because we wouldn't be able to do it otherwise. Or we can do it in a limited way otherwise, but we can't do it every week. And also they've bonded with each other, so they want to keep improvising together. So I'm going to do my drop-in club in alternating weeks now, so fortnightly in person and then fortnightly on Zoom. And the Brisbane people can take part on Zoom as well, which is great. I've had suggestions for possibly streaming the in-person one online, but I'm still not sure if that's something of value, so we'll experiment with that. The great thing about improvisers is they're really willing to adapt and experiment and give like really loving feedback. So it's great. It's easy to create stuff for improvisers because we're used to like supporting each other and helping out.
Dealing with the unexpected is kind of what we do.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Is there anything else you'd like to mention while we're talking about this stuff?
So there is an access issue, which is a little bit of the elephant in the room in terms of Zoom stuff. So I know that I've had 2 regular players in Brisbane who can't do online stuff. And that's despite living in a metropolitan area and not having a cost issue in terms of internet. But it's just the internet in their building I can't handle it, or they don't have a quiet room. They've got kids running in and out. Even though we've got some improvisers with kids running in and out where we make it work and you can just mute, these 2 regular players can't make the online stuff work. And I know there's other people who've wanted to do it, but their internet hasn't been good enough, or they've joined in on a session and it's kept on dropping out, so it's just not viable. So that access issue is something that I'm I've tried a bunch of stuff. So phone in improv, where you
Yeah.
actually can call into Zoom using a phone line. You don't need internet at all. Uh, one person loved it and thought it was great. Another person would never do it again because it's too hard and too weird. Um,
I've got the same issue up here. I know one of our regular improvs is absolutely brilliant at what he does, but he's in a black spot in Mount Morgan, doesn't have internet access. So if he takes part in any online shenanigans of mine, it's going to be on the phone.
yeah,
And that's going to be a whole extra layer of weirdness, because then he won't be able to see the other people. He won't be able to see the numbers to know, it's his turn or not. So that's a whole separate thing to keep in mind when I'm planning any shenanigans I run, is how do I make it inclusive for the guy on the phone.
yeah. And I think it has to be everyone is audio only or everyone is on the video, because we've tried it with a couple of people audio only, and it's not, you can't, because you're trying not to censor yourself and you're trying to let go and be free. Constantly worrying about whether your visual gestures are being picked up by, and it's fair to the people on the phone, is, it doesn't work. Everyone's got to be one or the other, I think.